For all of you that have a Wolff stove and are tired of cleaning those porcelain grates, I can get you from this to this without a whole lot of work. Okay, I brought the grate up to my shop. I just find it a little easier to do it up here. It gets to be a little messy. Also, I've kind of suited up in just a Tyvek suit or whatever because it does spray. The thing that I use for this, you're going to need a couple things. You're going to need a 90-degree air tool or similar. I've been using the blue pads on it. This is a 4-inch disc and also the 2-inch disc. And also I have a little air polisher, some WD-40, and cooktop degreaser, engine degreaser, I don't care. I've tried everything on these things. I've stuck them in garbage bags for 4 days with easy off, and I have tried everything. And nothing is nearly as easy or clean, especially time-wise, is what I found here. So here we go. First thing I've done is I place it on some rags so it doesn't slide around when I'm working on it. I spray the whole top and the inside. I don't care if it's engine degreaser or easy off or whatever. And I let it set for a little bit. Probably about 4 minutes. Okay, the next thing I do after about 4 minutes is just a regular Stanley blade. I put on gloves, obviously. And I try to scrape, keeping the blade just absolutely as flat as I can. And you can see all this, it's taken a lot of it off. So I do this to just the top surface where it's flat. I don't want to try to get down in the rounded part. And I spend as much time doing that. The other thing I use a lot of WD-40, helps lubricate it a little bit, you know, to keep it wet. And I agree with the fact that if you can clean these grates after a spill, either immediately when you're done cooking, it certainly saves a lot of work. But when they get this bad, I gotta tell you, I just haven't found anything that works except this. So anyway, I'm not gonna do the whole grate, I'll do half. Hopefully the lighting's right. Lighting is really important when you're doing this because you have to be able to see it. So anyway, I'll cut it off there. Wipe that off. The other thing I do for the inside, I use plastic. This is just a piece of a body tool for spreading Bondo because it's flexible and it won't scratch. And of course, this is where all the work is inside these burner areas. But anyway, as you can see, it is turning brown, so it's lifting some of it. Then I wipe it off. And I mean, this is usually the best we can ever get it. You know, we still see all the residue. We all know what this is all about. Next thing I do, the air tool. I use the 4-inch disc on the top. Spray it with WD-40. Spray the disc with WD-40. Now you'll be able to see where the caked on stuff is because, like I said, I have a light up here shining down, and hopefully you can see this in the video. Now mind you, these grates have been on this stove for about 3 years and haven't been cleaned. Usually doesn't take a whole lot on the top. They do have some nicks and things in them like that, so I mean these are fairly old, so, but as you can see, I hope you can see, the top part's pretty good. Now what I do is I change to the 2.5-inch disc, or the 2-inch disc. And this is for down in here. Like I said, this takes a lot more time. Lighting's really important, but I guarantee if the lighting's right, you can get every little piece off these grates. WD-40. Don't be afraid to stand it on its edge. This pad is really worn out, but the ability to get into all these surfaces right around there, and especially in this convex part there, you can't beat it. And that smoke that you see coming off here is actually this thing burning the residue, the burnt on food that's there. Said that smoke is where it's just the burnt food just so caked on there. And I don't know if the camera's showing this, but if the lighting's right, you'll be able to see it when you're doing it. Okay, you know, it's important every once in a while to wipe it off because that way you'll see it's actually looking pretty good. A few little places. I don't know if you can see these or not, but if I lift it up, I don't know. I said lighting is really crucial here. So I don't know how well it's really showing up, but you can still see a few places where, I mean, this side, I'm only going to do half of it just to show you. But you can always lay it back down, and wherever you see anything, okay, let's call that good. Just because I know you don't want to sit here and watch this video all day long, you'd rather get out there and clean your grates. I mean, they are porcelain, so they're pretty tough. You can also get right up in here. So these aren't in perfect condition. The other thing I do is just regular rubbing compound, auto store thing. You know, dab some on here. I think it just helps bring the luster back a little bit. Put it on like that. I try to smear it around that way the buffing wheel doesn't throw it all over the place. Switch out the air tool. It's good enough. I'm going to pause it for a second. I'm going to go over and just use Dawn and clean this thing up with dish soap. Okay, I'm back. And at this point, like I said, if you still see any small areas in there that need attention, just hit them again with that 2-inch wheel. Just take a high absorbent rag, wipe it down. And I mean, I don't know what you see there, but I don't know how it could be any cleaner. Like I said, these grates aren't brand new. The main thing is when you're doing it, you can feel in here too. And like I got to get better along these edges. I can still feel I didn't get in here. A lot of it will be by touch. You can feel it by touch. But for the most part, they don't seem to be scratched up. You can even put them on and they will clean up even a little better. So, hope it's been helpful. Okay, it feels pretty good. Like I said, just me to finish it off. Little rubbing compound. I just found that it just brings back the gloss a little bit more doing this. You know, I figure about, you got to give yourself about a half hour per grate, depending how bad they are. But remember, oven cleaner, degreaser on top, scrape it with a blade, use the 4-inch only on top. 2-inch all down in here. These are obviously a lot more work, so you'll spend a lot more time down in here. And then just switch out the air tool. These are good sizes because it gets down in there really well. I just don't know how you get some of this baked off stuff off without power tools. To me, I mean, I've never been able to, so this is what I came up with. I'm gonna go clean it and I'll be right back. Little Dawn dishwashing soap, some warm water. Clean rag. Doesn't look too bad. So again, if you still see any areas, you can always go at them with that 2-incher lightly again, but I mean, for the most part, little Windex. Kind of just gets the streaks in the film off it, so hopefully you'll be able to see it better in the picture. No more gloves on either. Anyways, to me it's a big improvement. I hope the lighting's good enough, but said these are 4-year-old grates, so it's much better than it was. Thank you. Okay, the final part that I'm doing here is I was at my hardware store and telling the gentleman there what I was doing, and he recommended putting maybe this conditioner glass cleaner. They use this on firewood stoves and gas stoves to clean the glass, and it's supposed to be a silicone base, so it leaves a really nice coating on there that makes it a lot easier to clean. So I actually put this on the grates, and as you can see, this is pretty much the finished project. After they were all cleaned up, I just brought them in here and just wiped on some of that conditioner glass cleaner for stoves and inserts, and I rubbed that all over the grates. And when I was doing that, like I said, it even kind of buffed them out a little bit more, but it certainly felt to me like it was leaving a nice silicone base on there. And I mean, this is for temperatures up to 600-700 degrees, so I don't think these porcelain pans are going to get anywhere near that temp, so hopefully make it a little bit easier to clean up if you do have a spill. Thanks.